Title: Casting Shadows. Casting Shadows. When we arrived in the Czech Republic, everything felt like a whirlwind of new experiences and opportunities. I had landed a job with a tech company, and my wife, Elena, was excited about the prospect of immersing herself in a different culture. We were eager to embrace this new chapter in our lives, despite the language barrier that loomed over us like a dark cloud. Elena was beautiful. Her long hair and warm smile caught the attention of many. But her limited English made her feel isolated at times, and I often found myself translating for her, guiding her through the intricacies of daily life in a foreign country. It was during one of our strolls through the vibrant streets of Prague that things took an unexpected turn. We were in the middle of a heated argument, over something trivial, as usual. The stress of adapting to a new place had been wearing on us, and tempers were flaring. Just as I raised my voice, a man approached us, exuding an air of confidence. He had striking features and an easy smile, making him seem instantly charismatic. "Excuse me," he interjected, raising a hand as if to calm the storm between us. "I'm Martin, a model agent. I couldn't help but notice your wife. She has an incredible look. Have you ever considered modeling?" Elena glanced at me, her eyes wide with surprise. I translated his words, and I could see a flicker of curiosity ignite in her expression. The idea of modeling was entirely new to her, and despite the tension of our argument, there was a glimmer of excitement on her face. "Really?" she asked, her voice tinged with intrigue. Martin nodded, undeterred by the language barrier. "Yes. I'm hosting a casting call nearby. It could be a fantastic opportunity for you. Just a few pictures, nothing serious." I looked at Elena, sensing her hesitance. "What do you think?" "It could be a fun experience," I said, trying to mask my own doubts. The thought of her modeling made me nervous, but I didn't want to stifle her excitement. After a moment's pause, she smiled and agreed. "Okay, I'll do it." Martin's eyes lit up as he gestured for her to follow him. "Great! Just a short walk. You won't regret it." As they walked away, I felt a strange mix of pride and unease. I watched them disappear around the corner, the sound of my heart pounding in my chest. I knew I should trust her, but something gnawed at me. Time passed slowly as I waited, the vibrant atmosphere of the city suddenly feeling heavy with tension. I couldn't shake the feeling that this was a mistake. The idea of her alone with a stranger made my stomach twist. Suddenly, I heard laughter echoing from around the corner, and my heart sank. I stepped forward, peeking around the edge of the building, and what I saw sent shockwaves through me. Elena stood there, the tension in her body replaced by a carefree demeanor. She was laughing, and Martin had his arm around her shoulders, showing her something on his phone, photos of other models, luxurious lifestyles, and piles of cash. In that moment, I realized I had underestimated the situation. As Elena leaned closer to Martin, the connection between them seemed to deepen, and I felt the ground shift beneath me. I should have intervened then, but I was frozen, caught between the pain of betrayal and the disbelief of what I was witnessing. My wife, who had always been so loving and devoted, was being drawn into a world I had never wanted for her. Suddenly, I heard the sound of cash being exchanged, a stack of bills, crumpled and enticing. Martin was showing her the money, his voice low and persuasive. The sight was suffocating, and I could feel my heart shattering into pieces. Just as I stepped forward to confront them, Elena caught sight of me. Her expression changed from laughter to shock, and in that instant, I saw the realization dawn on her face. But it was too late. The spell had been cast. "Wait, this isn't what it looks like," she stammered, backing away from Martin, but it was too late to deny what had just unfolded. The bond we had built felt fragile, shattered by the allure of quick money and fleeting attention. "Let's go," I said, my voice shaking as I turned away from Martin, not wanting to give him the satisfaction of a reaction. I reached for Elena's hand, but she hesitated, torn between the thrill of the moment and the reality of our life together. "Please, just come home," I urged, my heart breaking at the sight of her confusion. As we walked back through the bustling streets, silence enveloped us, heavy with unspoken words. I could see the guilt washing over her, but my mind was racing with anger and hurt. I had trusted her to make the right decision, and yet here we were, teetering on the edge of betrayal. Why did you let it go that far? I finally asked, my voice barely above a whisper, trying to contain my emotions. I didn't mean to, she replied, tears welling in her eyes. I was just caught up in the moment. I didn't understand. Her words stung, and I felt a deep sense of betrayal. You didn't think about what it could mean for us? For our marriage? I was excited. It was an opportunity. I didn't think it would turn into that, she said, her voice breaking. As we reached our apartment, I knew we had a long road ahead. The trust that had once bound us together felt fragile, and I wasn't sure how to repair the damage that had been done. But as I looked at Elena, I realized that despite the hurt, I still loved her. We had to confront this together, to understand what had led us to this moment, and to find a way to move forward. Let's talk, I said, my voice softer now. We need to figure this out. We can't let this define us. Elena nodded, her eyes filled with remorse. As we sat down, I knew it wouldn't be easy, but this was a pivotal moment for us, a chance to rebuild our foundation and redefine our relationship. Together, we would have to navigate the shadows that had emerged, and perhaps, just perhaps, find a way back to the light. As we settled into the small living room of our apartment, the weight of the earlier events loomed heavily between us. I gestured for Elena to sit across from me, and as she did, I could see the emotions swirling in her eyes, fear, regret, and a desperate need for understanding. Let's be honest with each other, I began, my voice steady but laced with emotion. What happened out there was more than just a mistake. It was a moment of choice, and I need to know why you made that choice. Elena nodded, her gaze dropping to her hands as she intertwined her fingers. I don't know. I was flattered by Martin's attention. He made me feel beautiful and wanted, something I haven't felt in a long time. It was like I was finally being seen. Her words struck a chord within me. I understood her longing for affirmation, especially in a new country where everything felt overwhelming. But you know we're in this together, right? You don't need to seek validation from someone else. I've always seen you, Elena. I've always admired you. She looked up at me, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. I know, and I'm so sorry. I got caught up in the moment, in the excitement of being approached like that. I didn't think it would lead to this. The hurt was palpable, but I could sense her sincerity. It's not just about that one moment, Elena. It's about trust. I thought we were in a place where we could communicate anything, even the uncomfortable stuff. Why didn't you tell me you were feeling insecure? I didn't want to burden you, she admitted, her voice breaking. I thought I could handle it. But when Martin showed interest, it felt like an escape, a chance to step into something different, something exciting. I didn't consider how it would affect you, or us. I want you to feel confident and beautiful, I said, my heart aching for her vulnerability. But it shouldn't come at the expense of our relationship. We should be each other's support, not the reason we stray. We've always talked about everything together. I know, she whispered. I messed up. I let my insecurities get the better of me, and I'm so ashamed. I didn't mean to hurt you, and I hate that I did. We sat in silence for a moment, the weight of our conversation settling in. I could see the sincerity in her eyes, the deep regret for her actions. What do we do now? I asked, my voice softer, laced with uncertainty. Elena took a deep breath, steadying herself. I think we need to rebuild the trust that was lost. I don't want this to define us, but I also understand that it can't just be brushed aside. I want to prove to you that I can be faithful, that I can be the partner you deserve. I want that too, I replied, my heart softening. But we'll need to work through this together. We can't ignore what happened, it's a part of our story now. We need to communicate better, to really listen to each other's needs. Elena nodded, a flicker of hope igniting in her expression. You're right. Maybe we should seek help, a counselor who can guide us through this. I want to learn how to express my feelings instead of hiding them. I don't want to feel alone in our marriage. That sounds like a good idea, I agreed. We should approach this as a team. We need to be able to talk about our feelings, our fears, and what we both need to feel secure. I want to understand you better, and I want you to understand me too. The conversation shifted from the painful moment to plans for the future, how we could learn and grow from this experience. We discussed setting aside regular time for each other, a dedicated space to share our thoughts and feelings without judgment. We talked about exploring new activities together, something that could reignite our connection outside of our routines. As the days turned into weeks, we followed through on our commitment to each other. We attended counseling sessions and learned effective communication techniques, which helped us articulate our feelings without fear. Each session peeled back layers of misunderstandings, revealing the root of our issues. Elena began to open up about her insecurities, and I shared my fears of losing her. Slowly, we rebuilt the trust that had been shaken, learning to appreciate each other in new ways. We made time for dates, exploring the beauty of Prague together, finding joy in the simple things like long walks and shared meals. We also made a point to celebrate each other's successes, big and small. I encouraged Elena to pursue her interests, her art, her hobbies, and she, in turn, supported me in my work challenges. The journey wasn't without its struggles. There were moments of doubt and frustration. But with each challenge, we found ourselves leaning on one another more, creating a stronger bond. Eventually, we reached a place of understanding, where our love felt renewed and vibrant. The incident with Martin became a distant memory, a lesson learned rather than a defining moment. One evening, as we walked hand in hand along the Vltava river, the setting sun casting a warm glow over the water, I turned to Elena. "I'm proud of us," I said, smiling at her. "We've come a long way." She beamed back at me, her eyes filled with love. "I'm proud of us too. I've learned so much about myself and about what it means to be part of a partnership. I won't take it for granted again." As we watched the sun dip below the horizon, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. We had faced our shadows and emerged stronger together, ready to embrace whatever life had in store for us next. Together, we had turned a moment of betrayal into a foundation for growth, proving that love, when nurtured and cared for, could weather any storm.